name is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says, "Oh, hey, you're a mom? That's fabulous." But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channelmom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Welcome back to the Channelmom Show, moms, where we're celebrating you. There's no other media out there that says, you know what, moms are super important. We need to help them. We need to encourage them. That's what we do right here on Mile High Sports Radio. We are back with Linda Williams and her daughter Ann Wiggins, who wrote a wonderful book called Parenting from the Heights. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
I want parents to know some specific things that you have done that have worked with children. You have had parents who have testified, nothing worked until I read your book and you helped me with your solutions. You give seminars, you give counseling, you help all kinds of parents with really children who are going off the deep end. So tell us about a couple of things, how you set expectations for a child, literally look at them and say, these are the expectations, and then how you do something called practicing. And finally, also, when the expectations are not met and when the practicing doesn't work, what is the follow-up discipline? Can you give me some examples, and we'll start with you, Ann.
Yeah, setting expectations is huge, and almost nobody ever thinks to do it. Here's what it looks like. You're going out to a store, say with your 3- and 6-year-old, or your 8- and 15-year-old, or whatever it is. You look at them in the eye because nonverbal communication is really, really important. So you look like you mean it, and you say, when we go to the store today, this is how it's going to go. You will walk by my side. You will not ask for anything. Do you understand? Yeah. And often that's all it takes. They're like, oh, okay, well, then if that's how it is, and that's how it will be. Now, not always. Sometimes they will test you, especially if they're not used to this. They may be like, who's this, and where is my mother? They may go ahead and do something. At that point, you have to impose an impactful consequence, which we go over, as you said, in our book, an awful lot.
So, Linda, let's say you set the expectations and they ignore them. What happens then?
Okay, let me just share an example of a family that I was working with. They had a young daughter that was still on the children's menu, but she thought she should be an adult. So when she ordered from the adult menu, she wasted food. Pure and simple, she didn't need to be doing it. But the parents were putting up with all this arguing and complaining and whining and fussing at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. So I just said to them simply, be ready to apply an impactful consequence. Here's what they did. They told her before they were going to go, you're going to order off the children's menu. She was very sullen about it. She went into the restaurant. She slid down. She barely whispered to the waitress because she was so angry she had to get something from the children's menu. When the food came and was put down before her, the mother said to the waitress, please bring us a box. We're going to box this up. Mother and daughter left the restaurant with father and the other siblings staying behind. Mother and daughter went and sat in the car. And the girl was very angry, said nothing to her mother, sat in the back seat. The mother opened her box and began to eat. And she said, there was no way I wanted to eat that food, but I knew I had to. So she sat there and ate. After a bit, the girl said, well, don't I get my food? And she said, yes, as soon as we get home. So they sat in the car. Father, siblings came out after a half an hour or so. By the way, they had consumed the dessert that she had ordered. And the next time, a week later, they went to the restaurant. The parent said to her, remember, you're ordering from the children's menu. And she happily said yes. Yes. Went into the restaurant, behaved herself.
Yes, this was the transformation I witnessed in my daughter yesterday when I imposed a discipline. Just wonderful, right? You know, within a half an hour of the discipline being imposed. Kids really respond to it. I just think we're afraid of that half an hour that is awful, sitting in the car, eating our food, our child pouting, feeling like we're an evil, awful person. But in fact, we're being a loving and good person, trying to help our child be a great adult. So I love it. And let's talk about practicing. When you have a child that pops off and says rude and disrespectful things to you and argues with you and fights with you, how do you practice how they should respond to you?
Well, it's very simple. You don't even have to really think very hard to do this. You stop the child, put your hand up like a stop sign, stop, and then you tell them what the infraction was. What you just said to me was disrespectful, or what you said to me wasn't, but the way you said it was. The word okay is fine, but not okay, to Mom. So we're going to do this again. I will say, Jamie, unload the dishwasher. And you will say, and give them the words, okay, Mom, now let's try it. And so you say, Jamie, unload the dishwasher. Whatever the scenario just was that went badly, you do it again. And then your child is to say back to you, okay, Mom, now there's a chance that they just will, dig their heels in and they're not going to say it. You don't give them unlimited time, by the way, to pull this off. So if you notice that they're not going to do it, no problem. You say, I see that you're not ready to practice yet. Sit right here and do not get up. I will come and check with you later to see if you're ready. And then make it quite a long time. Make them sit there and do nothing. You come back to them. They don't get to tell you when they're ready. And you say, I don't know if you're ready or not. I'll just see if you are, so let's try this again. And if it takes literally all day, just count that as wonderful stuff, because this probably will never happen again. This is going to be a really bad day today, but tomorrow will be better. And by the way, don't be afraid to do it 60 times if they're not doing it the way you want it.
Right.
Once they do it correctly, then you say, that's it. What you just did was just what I'm looking for. Now, here's the problem. You did it wrong lots of times and right only once. That's not enough time to really undo all the wrong times and get good at it. So just to get good at it, we're going to do it 1 or 2 more times here. And make them do it a couple more times. You can do it with talking. You can do it with walking. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent having my children at times walk in and out of rooms for me because I didn't like the stomping feet or the hands as they left. And my daughter particularly once, not too long ago, really dug her heels in, and she just stomped back and forth for, I'm not kidding, 45 minutes. And finally she looked at me, and I just thought, well, this is fine. We can do this all day until you get it right. And she looked at me. She said, my heels are hurting. I said, well, that's not a surprise. Do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I finally did win, but that one took about 2 hours to win.
Parents need to not feel bad for being the authorities in charge, raising up their children to be good adults. So Linda, I just want you to briefly talk about teenagers and what sometimes you have had to have a parent do where they take away everything until that teenager understands who's in charge.
The sooner you start, the easier it is then to just maintain. But suppose you're just going to get into all of this and it's going to be brand new for you. Your teenager needs to know just what Ann said. I'm willing to go the course. I don't care if it takes the rest of my life. I will stand here until this is done. So I just recommend that teenagers have huge currency, huge car keys, tech stuff, computer access that's not school related, and light bulbs. There's not much to do in a dark room, or if you can throw a breaker to their bedroom without affecting the rest of the house. You just start by, if it's severe and it's really a lot of issues, you just start by just taking away about everything. They have food, they have clothing, they have a nice warm house, and they have a kind parent. They just don't have any stuff. And then gradually, as they show you their respect, you can start to give those things back. Saving, of course, the most beloved thing for the last thing to earn back. And you just sort of mentioned, we don't always come down hard on our children all the time. We are so prone to noticing when they mess up. So you also need to notice the positive side. But don't be a cheerleader over it, because this is behavior they should be exhibiting. So you say, hey, I just noticed how you did such and such. I appreciate that.
So the authors of Parenting from the Heights, Ann Wiggins and Linda Williams, we're going to have them back. And I thank you so much, ladies. You have so much knowledge and wisdom to share. And I know that you can help transform parents' lives. So have a lovely day, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you.